Pow, pow goes the powerhouse, and the COVID-19 man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced to the promised land of the ALEFBET, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been, in the power of the Father, in the powerhouse, cause that's what Word Tech Trick, Double Tech, in the ALEFBET we're connected. Word Tech Trick, Double Tech, in the powerhouse we're connected. Truth in the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn. Cause in this thing, the end is gonna be for sure. It's got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly. Cause in the truth, there's nothing that can be denied. If the COVID-19 man is hooking you up to the ALEFBET, to the powerhouse, with you waving. The COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up. Cause that's what Word Tech Trick, Double Tech, in the ALEFBET we're connected. Word Tech Trick, Double Tech, to no one else I'm genuflecting. Word Tech Trick, Double Tech, to the powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you will find in there the powerhouse not scared. You won't be silenced, nobody can touch what you will find in there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies, the righteous now they cries, cause the COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up to the powerhouse. Leave the power show, ride this mule around. Welcome to HDTV 28, Towering Torah Bull 613, HDTV 28. All of you are welcome today. Good to have you. All right. And hello, my fellow Tabarians. Today starts a brand new day. I had to do something, even though it took me a while to catch up right now. But I know I thought it was kind of late. I appreciate those of you that stay up late. I appreciate Bird Fruit showing up and Rosa. I don't expect too many people because I didn't advertise this one. But in any event, welcome. We're looking at some campaign. I'm starting a new campaign because this is the sermon, the first sermon I did on the COVID-19 man last year was on the 22nd of March. It was the Sunday. And I published it on a Monday, which was the 23rd, but I did it in my house. And that was the introduction to the COVID-19 man. Because on the week prior to that, the 17th, that's when I came up with the idea, of how the AlefBet, the Father, has precedence and predominance over any AlefBet, which the electronic bitcoins represents for the upcoming great reset that they're doing to want to put you into that currency for all the global markets. So right now there's the competition, the AlefBet or the AlefBet. The Alef is for the electronic Bitcoin, and the AlefBet is for the Father that's done all the work all along. But people want to trust in money, the place where they rest upon. So this is a campaign that I'm doing, not to give you promises like those that have a confession of faith. Politicians, science, everybody that has theories, every religion give you a confession of faith. I'm going to give you admission of fact. And I'm going to tell you how you reign as an individual over all the political sciences in the world. And I'm going to show you that. So I'm not here to bring you promises, but to bring you proof. Because the Bible is but the Torah is but the admission of facts. That we are ALEFBETIONAIRES. That means we have the word ad infinitum. Once we get the word, we can never lose it. So we're ALEFBETIONAIRES. And then we're cellionaires in our physical body. So I'm going to teach today about these things. But I thought I started, so let me get to my main window here so we can talk a little bit more comfortably. Let me take you to one of my windows here. Come on a second. Let's see. All right. So here we go. All right, so here we are. So we're doing this today, and HDTV 28, very interesting. I told you about the 28 is because Hadabarim Torah volts, and Hadabarim means Deuteronomy. 28 is the chapter in the Bible, in Deuteronomy, that explains how God controls the blessing and controls the curses. His hand is behind the scenes for all of that. He's working in it because he's the God of this world. You understand? He's not like the God of heaven, and God is found everywhere, managing everything. Okay, He created everything. You know, everything that is needed is for the purpose of revealing His uniqueness. Okay, the Echad, how He's exclusive and unique, like nothing else. With this world, we try to imitate Him in the muletic garden, but we don't even come close to imitating the economy of our own bodies. Our own bodies is just a temple for His voice to be in us. So that's where we find ourselves. Okay, so that's where we are today. So that's what I'm talking today. So the thing is, the reason why I started this, and let me put the main message here in the front so we'll know what we're talking about. So we'll get onto the, the nitty gritty of this whole thing. Yes, that's what we're talking about. So the COVID-19-MAN, confessions of faith or the admission of fact. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to teach you, because, and I want to train you a little bit into the word emuna, because that's the word for Hebrew for the word faith. Okay, and so we'll talk about that today. But I've been mentioning about Echad, how that stands for, economy, constantly or carefully housing all definitions, because that's what God is all about. That's what He all does. All He cares about is words, because out of the words everything is made. Even the idea of revealing His character comes from words. So the order of meanings and definitions is what He's all about. And see, once you get into that understanding, and your whole life, your whole life revolves about being in awe of the AlefBet, the father of all words, the alphabet, who is the father of all things that made out of words. And then you realize by that keeping, you're convinced without a shadow of doubt, because that's the way it is. I'm not telling you something that you need some subjective faith. That's how things are, and that's how everybody runs. That's why I have the patent office, because they believe that they can be the owners and exclusive fathers and founders of their own intellectual property, so they can run business in this world and retain the value of their companies. So everybody believes in the Echad, an economy that constantly holds all definitions. That's what the patent office stands for, to protect people's ideas. And so everybody believes in that, but that's what it's all about. So once you understand that's what God is all about, and you want to be His mindset, that's the same thing you acquire. So when your whole life revolves around doing the best for the alphabet and represent Him here in the most optimized, employment of keeping definitions and meanings, so everything in this world will stay refreshed, restored, renewed, and your fellow men, everything that He loves there will not die on Him, because you're there to be a covering. Because when you have the word and the definition and everything, you are the warranty that that thing will continue to exist. So that's what the Echad is, the one and sole economy that God runs. That's the way each one of our cells does that job. So the DNA is trained to be an strong, safe administration. What's the word Echad stands for in the Hebrew, which I'm calling it, for each letter in English, an economy constantly or carefully or courageously housing, that's protecting and keeping inside all the definitions, because that's what a patent office does. And patent means parent, and so the office of being a parent, that's what the second part here of this picture here that you see here, the one with the big head and check mark, do the app, and that got it from Isaiah, it talks about all nations, are counted to Him as nothing, or a dust of a balance, DOAB, or the drop of a bucket. Because if you don't do the app, if you don't do everything to reflect the character of God, because the reason why God calls Himself the alphabet, because in this world, the alphabet is the parent of all things made out of words. And this is not a confession of fact. That's an admission. That confession of faith, that's an admission of fact. Everybody knows that. When I'm telling you this, I challenge you to challenge me. I challenge you to tell me that I'm wrong, because you know that I'm right. That's why all nations force is mandatory. Everybody learns the alphabet, because the alphabet is the parent of everything that comes out. Diagrams, blueprints, books, scripts, menus, everything. So everybody has to go with the alphabet. So that's how the Bible talks about admission of fact. That's an admission of fact that I'm giving you right there. So we learn to do we go from preschool, we learn to do the alphabet, and we learn to do everything that has to do with the order of the alphabet. We learn to alphabetize. But alphabetize is what I teach you, to make sure that you learn the alphabet in order that you may retain the character of the Father and caretaker of all words and things. That's what the Ab is. And so when you retain that, then you are in his mindset and you never live it. You are in the Reshit. The Reshit is translated at the beginning, but that means you are the beginning of everything. You're always at the beginning of every product and service, because you're there to restore or renew it, because you are the beginning and the consumer is the end of it, because it only eats us away. But you keep it new, you keep it fresh, you keep it restored, because the Reshit is the wisdom, the head of the woman. Remember that the whole book of Proverbs is dedicated to that. So you're in the wisdom, in the meaning and the appreciation of words that God has, and therefore that's where you stay. So you don't do that, you're not able to reflect the character of the Father, and therefore you're left as a dust of a balance or a drop of a bucket, like it says in Isaiah chapter 40 verse 15. And so all nations before him are counted as nothing. If you do not understand that the whole alphabet was given to retain the character and the attitude of the Father, which means he holds onto the order of words and meanings. That's all, because that's the reality of everything. All right? If you don't think that, if you don't agree with him, then you're going to be as useful as a drop of a bucket and as useful as a dust of a scale. You have no weight in yourself to present the character of God, because that's what God, the whole economy of God is to represent the character of the Father of all words, because if you're not able, that's why you were made. Remember Joshua 1:8. He tells you the purpose, that God made us for the alphabet and to make sure that all the words and yearnings of God, all the words of God, all the dabar and the yearnings, the way and the attitudes that he has with the key words are what remains in us. So what words and yearnings? Way. We were made for the way. Way in Hebrew is the derek, the path. So the way are the words and yearnings. So we were not made for the success of just the flesh, looking successful according, to the way the world determines that you're success. You have to wear a tuxedo, you have to drive a Ferrari, or, the latest electronic self-driven vehicle. And, you have to have this house in Beverly Hills, another one in Palm, in Bel Air, all these other places. The people come up with the thing that will make you successful for this body, but you were not made for that. What you were made for is for the alphabet, because out of the alphabet, out of the ALEFBET, that's what everything comes. And so you were made to inherit the attitude that God has, his words and his yearnings. And for that very purpose, he gave you the Torah, with 304,855 letters of the Hebrew alphabet in the sequence put together. That's all. And with that, you learn the mitzvot, which is the connections to God has with this world, so you will stay connected and stay in the mindset with him, in the Reshit and in the wisdom of God. So that's what you are here for. That's the reason why you're created, and that's what you reminded, in Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate day and night. And that is to keep things alive, because you are here to get those 304,855 letters of the Torah memorized, so you will have the mindset of the Father of words. Okay? This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, right? This book, Bible, they usually call it, and I hate the acronym of the evangelicals that they taught me when I was, in the basic instruction before leaving Earth. Now, to me, this bona fide instruction bringing life everywhere. That's what this is. Bona fide, B-I-B-L-E. Bona fide, they prove it. Bona fide instructions bringing life everywhere. Because once you learn the attitude of the Father and you inherit the attitude to cherish and to treasure meanings and definitions, you keep things alive. You keep things renewed, refreshed, restored. Because that's what a person that does that learns. So this is bona fide instructions bringing life everywhere, okay? Or bringing long lasting, but it's life or liveliness, keeping things alive. So this is the bona fide instructions, bringing liveliness everywhere in the here and now. Okay, none of these things, basic instruction before leaving earth. Hogwash with that stuff. That's a confession of faith. What the Torah really teaches you is to be in the Father and caretaker of all worlds, so you'll be on top of the world, and everybody's going to be depending on you to keep things new and restore and refresh and renew. And beginning with the character of the Father and everything else that you come to inherit from words. So that is what we're looking at. So he says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then what will happen? For then thou will make your way. That's the Torah is the way. That you will make the words and yearnings of the alphabet of the Father. You will make those things that are in you, because you are given to be the carrier. The AlefBet, you receive it, you carry it, and you distribute it. That's what you do. And so once it gets inside of you, you have to receive it with all the words and with the attitude that God has towards words. Okay? So this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make your words and yearnings thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So in the Bible, you're a good success when the words and yearnings of you are the words and yearnings of the Father. So you stay in the mindset of the Father, and you are a conduit to the Father of all things and all words and things on the here and now, because that's what God cherishes. That's how He keeps fellowship with His wisdom, with His reshit on a 24/7 basis on the here and now. And so that's what this whole thing is about. So that's what we are addressing yesterday. And so we're looking at the word imuna now. I want to quickly go over this, and then I'm going to tell you about the campaign that I'm doing here, right? In imuna is made from the letter, the aleph, the head of the ox, then the mem, okay? That's the strong solutions. And the solutions, the aleph is the powerful or strong, and the mem is for current too. For electric current, it's expressed by the diagram of waves, like the one that you see here. Let me see if I put it close to you. You see the mem here. When you look to electric diagrams, you see that as a current. So because the strong current also is the mother, and the current has to do with waters too, the current of waters. Okay, and so the current in Niagara waters causes electricity. It is a whole thing combination in there. But in any case, so we have the aleph, the moon, and for the u sound they have the vav, okay, which is the letter for connectedness, hooking up, and holding or grabbing onto something, because it's the nail, that grabs and puts things together. So the strong solutions that hold or grab onto the generation. The noon is for generation or continuity, or it's even for the seed. And then it's with a hey, and hey is for liveliness, or being alive, or being full of life. So at the end of the day, what the word muna means in English, what you call faith. Now I'm using confession of faith because there's a faith that this world has, in which they're hoping that they're going to get something, in the world after, in the world after, after life, after death, once they behave, they do the right things, and that, so they think that that's where they're going to get something because they have faith to trust in here. But in the Bible, in Habakkuk 2:4, when it says, God whose spirit is high, the one who's very arrogant, his spirit is not right within him. But the just or the righteous, it says, shall live, and that's the word hajah, which means shall make things alive. That's word. It's not just that you're going to live a certain way, but you're going to make things come to life, because that's in the Torah. Hajah, that's what it means. We're translating in the King James, shall live by faith, but he shall make things come to life by emuna. Okay, and so if emuna is the strong solutions that hold the seed of life, because that's what the whole thing, the strong solutions that hold the seed of life. The seed is the set of instructions, okay? They'll tell you how things is put together. In the seed, there's instructions how a whole tree is going to look like, how a whole garden is going to grow. The seed has the instructions for every tree, every plant that's going to come out of it. So the seed is the set of instructions telling you what's going to develop. Okay, so when you go to any company nowadays, every company has to have an office or a position in which they go there, and that office, you're trained there to get the strong solutions that holds, you know what, the generation of activity for all the products and services. It holds the seed of instructions to make everything come alive for the products and services. So in the realm of the here and now, the word Muna, according to Habakkuk 2:4, the righteous, or the one that knows the right instructions, make things come to life by the strong solutions that holds the seed, for life. So then you see how that verse makes sense in the here and now, because that's what it means. The righteous, the person that knows the right instructions, bring things to life. It says live, that means hajab, which means will bring things to life by emuna. And then you go with each letter by the strong solutions that hold onto the seed of life, of liveliness, because that's what you do. So that's how you see that the practicality of it is for the here and now. But somehow the people who do not know the Hebrew make it to be something that is subjective, that everybody has it just for themselves. I know that I know because I feel it, and nobody can say, because that's your feeling. Okay, so nobody can deny that is not your feeling. That is your feeling, and so we go by that. But that's how everything else starts. I know that I'm not this gender because I feel that I'm not male and female. Say, you started it by doing that. Now you have to admit it that this guy is feeling that craziness, and you have to accept it. So that's how it breaks down. You cannot take it into the subjective and accept somebody's faith just because they feel it in their heart. It has to be concrete and objective all the time. Otherwise, you start making excuses, and you give it to people in religious experiences. Oh, I feel good because I know I had this experience. That's like accepting a gizmo. I saw the movie Gremlin. Gremlin, there's the nice, cute guy, the nice, cute little demon that, but the thing is, already it's a little demon. Okay, just that it's cute. But, you're not supposed to feed it after midnight. You're not supposed to put, to water it down, to put any water in it, or you're not supposed to expose it to light because it will die. So in that movie, The Gremlins, Gizmo is the cute one, but already those things, the fact that you cannot feed it with food after midnight, the fact that you cannot put water in it, water is something that cleanses you. The fact that you cannot put light in it because it will kill you, already tells you there's something wicked about the little thing. But that's how it is. All the religions accept this subjective experience because they're serving God with this subjective experience that they had, that they know, they feel it in their bones. They have this, tingling in the spine, but it has no application to this here and now, and therefore any other groups come along, and they keep their practices, and they know that they're right because that's how they feel. And then you have to allow them, because you started allowing the people with a confession of faith that has nothing to do with the emuna of the Bible, and it's not a fact, something that you can do it pragmatically in this world, but it's something that the only people carrying them, so it's subjective. That's how the breakdown happens. You understand? So we are where we're at right now because we allow the confession of faith of a lot of people, which only a subjective experience, and it's not something that is objective for the here and now. So we allow that to happen, and the breakdown keeps going. So then you realize when you see the movie Gremlins, then out of Gizmo comes other ones that are uglier and more mischievous and more ready to do things. So that's why we have everything down to everything. So that faith has become only a promise. That the politicians use it. The politicians go there and campaign with a promise. You're going to have good health. You're going to have this and that. We're going to make sure that you're entitled. You have the right to this. And they're just giving you promises. And if you put me in the office, I'm going to make sure that it happens. All right? That's how the Bible speaks. The Bible speaks with facts. What did I tell you? You're an ALEFBETIONAIRE. You mean have access to all the words everywhere. Can you deny that? No, you can. You have access to all the words, especially now that YouTube and all these free places are in place. You have access to all the knowledge there is. And there is all yours. You just have to sit down and receive it and train yourself. So you are an ALEFBETIONAIRE. You can receive it. You carry the app. You can carry it. You receive it. You're a receptor. You carry it and you distribute it to whoever you want. That's the great thing. And then what else you have? You carry this body that is a cellionaire. And how much of a cellionaire? these are the things. The currency of the soul is the alphabet. The word currency is what circulates within you. That's what the word currency means. So the currency of the soul is the alphabet, because that's what circulates within your soul. And the currency of your body is the cell, because it's circulating within your body. Okay? And the job of the cell is to take care of the DNA that is transported in it for the next cell to come in. And so this is the currency. Okay? And you have 37.2 trillion. Okay? You understand that the economy of the world right now is worth like 80 trillion. The whole economy, the whole world, is worth about 80 trillion right now. Okay? And so that means that a father and a mother and a newborn baby already have more than that, because each one of the adults have 37.2 trillion cells, and a little baby just born, that's already more than 80. So a family of 3, puts to shame all the economy of the world and all the value that they have in their money-wise value. So that's why we're on top of things. The way God made us is such an economy, in each one of our cells, like I explained before. There's a block party going in each one of our cells. Like I gave you a little picture of that before. So that's what we are, okay? And that's the whole thing that each cell does is a parental office to the DNA. And then you also have inside of you, for each cell, you have the DNA that happens to be the doctor too, because a doctor means a person that is knowledgeable and knows. That's why you get a doctor in different things, because you have the knowledge of it. So this is the field that the DNA is the one that best knows your body more than any other, all the doctors combined in this world, because that's the one assigned to keep the shape of your body. And so that composes your DOSware, your divineware. Like there's the hardware for the computer and then the software inside. Your divineware is the word, and the cells outside is the dustware, because it just turns back to the dust. It falls for you back to the dust, while the word stays in transit, from soul to soul, is divine. The soul, the word has the ability to not just make a body like this and cloning it, but it can make anything of any shape, once it gets the understanding. So the word has the ability to mold into anything once you exercise the body of revelation. So the words are the body of divinity that you have to reveal God and everything else, anybody else's idea. And the dust and the cell has the DNA for the dustware, for the hardware of the soul. So the hardware of the soul is made of the DNA for this body, and the software is the alphabet, that gets everything done just in a computer. What is doing everything in this computer, doing everything for this OBS, is the software. The hardware, which is everything outside of it, has nothing to do, just sustains, the work of the software inside. And that's exactly how we were made, for the alphabet. You understand? For the here and now. So I'm teaching you these things. So I'm starting my campaign, and I'm going to show you proof, because I've been hearing a lot of you complain about the ailments that you go through. And now that you are in a pandemic of fear, that's really what the pandemic is all about. Because the amount of people that have fear compared to the amount of people that have COVID is extremely high. Very few people really get the COVID. The percentages. Very few people have gotten it. But the percentage of people that are afraid, maybe 1% out of 99 get COVID. But the percentage of people that have fear in them and that are run by fear right now and do everything because of fear is more than 60%. I venture to say it's about 70% of the people are scared that they're going to get some sort of illness, that they're going to get fired because they don't agree with the rest of them, because the fear expands to many things. You may not fear COVID-19, you may think, but then you think that you're afraid that you're going to offend your friends. So the fear spreads to a lot of things. So people that are afraid for all different reasons, the amount of it compared to the people that have the COVID is bigger. So the pandemic is the pandemic of fear. Why? Because the leaders have no training of the AlefBet. They have no training of the character of God. You know that no father and mother trains their children with just fear all the time. They don't do that. They teach them to be afraid of doing stupid things like touching the stove, not doing things that are dangerous for them. But all in all, like a child, the father throws the child up in the air and to grab him and to teach him, no matter how things go, I'm here to catch you, son. And that's how they develop trust. Only a little fear for a little bit, but great comfort all the time. So none of these leaders are trained in being the AlefBet to everybody. So you can tell. And they're failing really badly right now because the only tactic they use is fear to keep people under control. And that is not the fashion of the Father. But the reason why they're getting away with it, because there's no central office that makes sure that everybody lives to the character of the AlefBet. And so that's what is missing. Okay, so I'm starting my campaign, and I'm calling it here. Let me go. You see the little hat that Donald Trump used for Make America Great? I'm using it for Make Jopem Again. And I will explain to you why I use the word Jopem, okay? Because this is what I'm going to start to do. I'm going to start is the $0 campaign. I'm doing a campaign not to make you promises, you know, of what you're going to get when this campaign is over, but to show you as an admission of fact, because I am an ALEFBETIONAIRE, you know, and I am a Cellionaire. I'm going to show you how if you really trust your body, you really trust, because a lot of people say, I believe in myself. All right? There's a lot of people that don't believe in God, but they believe in this idea. I believe in myself. But I tell you what, all of that is just a confession of faith. Because if you believe in yourself, that means you will trust this body to cure you. You will trust your DNA to make you whole, to take away your cancer, to take away your acid reflux, to take away, you know, your erectile dysfunction. If you happen to have that, a lot of people at my age already have it big time. You know, thanks be to God, you know, I have no problems in that area, or hardly anything, because I abide by the AlefBet and his instruction, and I trust the DNA, the doctor, no ailment. That's what the DNA stands for, because he knows everything, and I live by that creed. So I'm gonna show you, you know, I'm doing something that everybody else will be embarrassed to do, you know, but I know it has worked for me. It has kept me free from sicknesses. Since 2003, I haven't had flu or anything for that matter. I don't even get headaches, okay? And so I understand when you really, so I don't even have a health insurance that I pay. When the Obamacare came, you had to have one. I said, let them charge me the penalty. I'm not gonna go for that, you know. So I went for it because I stand by the doctor that I trust. So if you say that you really believe in yourself, I mean, you will trust your body, but you don't. You go to the different doctors that don't less than your DNA, and you trust them to tell you what stuff to take for your flu, for whatever headache that you're having, for any insomnia, all these little things that people have, acid reflux, you know, fibromyalgia. You're trusting all these people that know less than your DNA. So you see, so this whole thing I'm going to show you right now. So I'm using the word Jopem, okay? And I'm going to take you to this portion here to explain what that stands for. So let me take you here. And so that's what some people are. Hey, good to see you guys. All right. Andy, you showed up, man. All right. Yes. Okay. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is about this thing here. Jopem started for the title of this book. It's called Your Own Perfect Medicine. Okay? Your Own Perfect Medicine. Now, I tried this for 21 days, and it did a lot of wonders for me. I lost about 21 days, and I lost about 28 pounds, close to 28 and 30 pounds, and, you know, but, and I was very surprised, you know, that it worked that good. But Jopem is what enables you to do the fast of Moses. Remember that Moses fasted for 80 days, okay, 80 days, and he did not drink water, you know, nor bread. So nothing solid like a bread, and no water. All right. So you think, so then how can you survive something with no bread and no water? That means anything externally coming inside of you, like water, you know, and bread. Some people think that that's dry fasting, because that's what they call dry fast, when you do that and you don't eat anything. That's one way. But there's another way of fasting, of not getting any water from this external world or any bread, and holding past 80 days, and you still retain your energy past 80 days, you know. And I know it because it's been proven, all right. And this is what this whole lady Martha M. Christie talks about this, and she is the one that used it, you know, to cure herself, because she was full of maladies and sicknesses. All the doctors are giving her up on that. She said she was about to die and everything, but you know, she had pains, all kinds. diseases that she had on herself. You can name it. But I'm glad that it's a woman named Martha Christie that wrote this book, you know, because here goes Martha, the M for solutions. She's got solutions of the head. The resh is in there, and the tab, and the hay, and the A. So it's Martha's head commitment, you know, to liveliness, you know, of fortitude. Martha is that's the meaning of that name. So Martha Christie, because Christie is just anointed, almost a Messiah, the Messiah. So, you know, so the solutions of the head to the commitment, you know, of strong liveliness, you know, something that the Messiah should do, okay? Because the M, the middle name for solutions of the Messiah, okay? It's interesting, but I did this thing, this protocol of hers, okay? And then she explains that your own perfect medicine is used by the pharmaceutical industry, you know, and the pharmaceutical industry makes millions, billions, I will say trillions, you know, of dollars using this thing that you have, that is your own perfect medicine. So they collect it, you know, they harvest it, they use it, they refine it, and the medical industry and the pharmaceutical company call this your own perfect medicine. The name that they give it, the scientific name, you know, is ultrafiltrate plasma. Ultrafiltrate means that something has been really, you know, filtration that is so pure and refined. They call it ultrafiltrate plasma because your blood is called plasma because it has a life ability to give life. But this is also plasma because its ability to keep you alive. But it's ultrafiltrate. That means ultra purified. So it's ultrafiltrate plasma. So then you ask me, how do you get the ultra? Where you get it from? It's free. You know, you don't have to go to any market to get it. It's completely free. Okay? But the pharmaceutical companies collect it from you without even you knowing that that's what they do. And then they sell it back to you. They make medicine out of it, and they sell it back to you for a lot of money, and your insurance company pay for it and stuff like that. But they don't reveal that. So this lady that wrote this book has the whole glossary, puts you down all the pharmaceutical company that use it, you know, and this own perfect medicine of yours has over 2,000 proteins and combinations in there that, you know, they're just scratching the surface on that. But the way where you get this, like I say, you don't get it in the store, but it's zero value and does the greatest good for your body. I tried for 21 days straight. I did not lose any energy. I was able to do my job, you know. I did not lose, as a matter of fact, I did not need to sleep that much. That's why I'm starting late. I should have gone to sleep already, but I have a lot of energy. This is my day one of starting back again. But this is the way to show you that you have it in yourself, that all you need. And I'm going to go, this morning I decided that, I was telling yesterday to the folks that I was going to do this for 80 days. But guess what? I'm going to go because I weigh myself today and it's 280. You know, I've gone up. You know, 280. That's 28. I don't bury 28. So I have. There was a point in 2012 when I did the fasting just with grapes that I went down to 133. You know, I went really down there, 133. So I figured, hey, I'm gonna go 140 days, because that's 14, the number of David. You know, that's my name, David. So I'm gonna go. Out of 280, you get two Davids. So I'm carrying the David of the Old Testament, and I'm carrying myself. I'm carrying two Davids here. You know, the 28, I love that number because that's the double of David. You know, and also Hadabar and 28 is the number of my channel. I use it for that. And it so happens that there's 28,000 news broadcasting jobs outside in the world here, you know, to broadcast the news today. And I happen to call myself the Hadabar HDTV 28, you know, and my weight today was 280.2. So, you know, there's two ways of Davids inside of me. So I'm going to get rid of one David. So I figured after 1 year, because this is 1 year ago, on March 22nd, you know, that I started my first sermon. So now I'm going to start this one, and I'm going to do it every day, just reporting. This is going to be very long right now because I'm starting. But every day I'm going to report anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes the progress of how it's going. You know, so I started today. I already went to the bathroom about 7 or 8 times today. So already a lot of stuff started to flush out because that's how it works when you start taking your own perfect medicine. The first 3 days, you're going to the bathroom a lot, but then you calm down, and then, then it's all calm after that. So you cannot go anywhere. Maybe you can start walking a week after you start, do a little half-hour walking every day, but you don't lose energy. And that's the thing is, my voice is getting better again, as I'm talking on the phone, and I'm not getting tired as I'm speaking a lot of stuff, So even today, the whole day I've been doing it, and it's just wonderful. But where do you get this Yopem, your own perfect medicine, all right? Where do you get it? By the words, ultrafiltrate plasma. You take ultrafiltrate, you take the U, and you take the plasma, which is P. So the moment you get your own perfect medicine, when do you get it? When you pee. Okay, so this is urine, you guys. It's called urine therapy. You get it when you pee. So you get it out of your own pee. And this lady explains how she healed herself, and there's testimony after testimony. And starting tomorrow, I'm going to start reading something to you about that. This is a little thing on a little recording. Let me see what it says here.
Urea, an organic salt formed in the liver, is the result of the body's use or synthesis of protein. The body eliminates excess nitrogen, which is produced during protein metabolism in the form of urea.
All right. Please stop right there. What I'm going to use.
Urea is also used by the body to help in the mechanism.
Because 90-something% of your urine is composed of urea. And urea is what is found inside the mother's womb, where the baby is floating, where the baby is formed. So exactly all the things that you have when you were born are found in there. And so that's why when you take it in, this is what I call Operation Restore. Because you get your youth back, all kinds of stuff right away. Constipation goes like that. But anything else, acid reflux, anything you can name, it just goes away. So, but the thing is, if you last again about 30 days or more than 21 days, you feel like you don't need the world. You realize how powerful God made you. And so you can hear everybody out there in the world saying you're going to need this. The hell with you, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Because you begin to see how extraordinary is this DNA, Dr. No ailment, that really knows how to take care of you. So the urea is what is found in the mother's belly, in the strong solutions of the mother. That's why she's the mother that executes the offices. Emuna is the job that the mother does to bring a new child into this world, because it's the strong solutions that hold onto the seed of life. And that's what she does. She has the strong solutions in there that are holding the seed, the ovum and the sperm that got together, until that seed comes to life. So the work of the mother doing the perpetuation of mankind on the world, that's the office of faith right there, in action, that you cannot deny. That's the word for emuna right there. And every office to produce a product and to bring it to life also does the office of emuna. That's one of the translations in the Old Testament for faith is confidence, trust, and another one is set office, because it's the office of the Levites to bring about. So what's a set office is also the word for emuna. The different translation for the same word, that's why it's good that you get into the Hebrew. But this is what I'm talking about. Your own perfect medicine, you get it from that we just call the ultrafiltered plasma. You get it when you pee, and you get it for free. So that's why I call this the zero campaign, the $0 campaign, And I'm using the verses from Isaiah 52:3. It says here, "For thus says Adonai," or thus says the Lord, "you were sold for nothing," or you sold yourself to nothing, it says, "and you will be redeemed without money." Because all these nations of the world are offering you promises that they're going to come up with a solution, a vaccine, and then they say, "Oh, it's another variant now, and we're going to have to deal with that one." So they just give you promises and not proofs, and everything like that. So that's not what a father does. So I am the one against, this whole thing. I'll say, and then the next verse, it says here in verse Isaiah 55:1, "All you who are thirsty, come to the water. You without money, come buy and eat. Yes, come buy wine and milk without money. It's free." And wine in the Bible is usually it's about a doctrine. Okay, the people are full with wine. That means they have doctrines that lead in their own way. So by wine and milk is what fortifies, inside of you. It was the food, like milk and honey was the food of kings, That's what they had. So you get to have all of that stuff, but I'm going to give you the Torah and I'll give you the admission of facts, so you will realize that without needing anything that these politicians are telling you, you're going to be above them in their own health that you're going to experience in your body. So I'm going to be a witness here every day telling you how I feel, how I'm dealing with it. This is the first day, and this is what we're doing with it, okay? Now, there's something that happened on Saturday the 20th, March the 20th. I woke up, and that's when I had the idea that this is what I need to do. Very simple, and I understood, the world and the confession of faith, they promise you of something that is to come. After you die, if you work for politicians, in the here and now, you hire them, you're going to deliver. So they give you promises, which not necessarily come true when they're in office anyhow. Hardly ever come true. But I want to show you that you are an ALEFBETionaire and you are a Cellionaire. And by putting yourself in Operation Restore with the Jopen, with your own perfect medicine, you will surpass everything that only politician and anybody tells that they have to offer you for the solutions of the body. And so when it comes to this, let me go back to the picture I had before. All right, so that's why the campaign is called the $0 campaign. And so make Jopem again. And I'm using this because this is what also goes in here. Make your own physicality magnificent again. So I like this terminology, your own physicality. Make your own physicality. That means your own body, because you're gonna see. I'm gonna go down to 140. In no time. You'll see what this is gonna be amazing. And I'm gonna be reporting every day, so you'll get to see that you can actually do it and work 12 hours a day, and you automatically give yourself a salary increase because you're not eating anything for as long as you want to. So you save a lot of money, and since I'm not driving a car, I just walk. I'm saving money there already, So I probably, some of the prices are gonna get a little bigger, on Wednesdays. We'll see, how it works, because my son is graduating, so how about the little expenses coming too? But we'll see. But you automatically give yourself a salary increase. That's extra money, because you realize, man, this is how you grow independence. That's the benefit of doing fasting. And to me, this is the best fasting for anybody that is working, because you can do it and especially for those that work at home, because especially the first week you're going to be going to the bathroom a lot. So if you're working at home, that's the convenience of working at home. You can do it, and you can lose weight without even exercising. Just doing this practice, and you can go do about your daily routine, doing everything else, But just use your own perfect medicine, your own Jopem, and then you're gonna be able to make your own physicality magnificent again. Like you had it when you were a baby, free of all diseases, anything, fibromyalgia, psoriasis, everything disappears. You have dandruff, all of that goes. One thing that helped me a lot until I did this fast, I had done all the fast, but I had a really bad BO, a really bad body odor that would not go away, until I did this for 21 days. Then that completely went away. Especially my feet were so stinky all the time, man. And I just, washed it, and it would just keep on stinking, and I was just completely despair of my stinky feet, man. But when I tried this in 21 days, every bad odor that I ever had in my body completely disappeared. So eliminated the bad odor in my body right away. I know I had eliminated other things. I had lost weight in the water cure with the water salt. A lot of things I've done, but until I did this, then that was one of the things that would not go away with the other fast. So I have fasted with water. I have fasted with pomegranates, just eating pomegranates for 30 days. I have fasted just with grapes. I have done fast of all these things, but the BO on my feet especially will not go away. But with this thing, all of that went away. But I know it's good for that because, one thing that it protects your body because the kidney is the filter, the greatest filter you have in your body, okay? And also the producer of antibodies. So let's say you're bitten by a snake, or bitten by a scorpion, or bitten by any kind of insect, and it gets swollen and stuff like that, just get some of that, ultra-filtered plasma, some of that Jopem, just drink as soon as you can, and the swelling will go in less than an hour. Everything will go away because anything that enters your body, there's this glands that you have in here that detect what it is and exactly knows what you've been poisoned with, and it creates the antibodies and deposits it, in your bladder. So you have to just get it and take it, and you're cured. That's how perfect God made us, But the industries would not tell you that. So we have the pharmaceutical company called this liquid gold because they make so much medicines that they use for makeup. Like you hear the eye drops, Murin, M-U-I. It says just take the M as urine right there. But it's a lot of medicine that use it, and they sell it to you for a very high price because it's in third world countries when people don't have enough medicines, and since you're a doctor, you got to take a urine sample. When the doctors run out of medicine, they ask the patient, okay, you feeling sick? Okay, have a urine sample as a tool. And they use that sample to inject the patient with. And the patient get cured, And, she tells you about this whole thing in there. So I'm giving you how these corporations get the stuff out of you. You are the treasure of God. Your cellionaire, your bladder, you have the liquid gold, and they all take advantage of your ignorance, and they sell you back your own product. You understand? So that's why you stand to gain the more of it. And so right now we're at the point in which the Great Reset is all about putting everything into the ALEFBET, the electronic Bitcoin, right? The ALEFBET, because that's what they're trusting. And so right now they're going after, I explained to you in the last conversation, they're going after Arthur Hayes, okay? Because Arthur Hayes is the one that has great control over this Bitcoin, because they want to get him out of the way so they can control, the technology for themselves, so they can run the whole world with it. Just like this elites nation, they go to other third world country so they can control the oil in it. They offer them things so they can appropriate the oil, But now that the ALEFBET is gonna be the new things, they're doing this out of harvesting, okay? Harvesting the data, And I was reading about somebody that was sharing that the scientists are creating a digital duplicate, a digital twin of the Earth. That means the whole Earth in the digital world, so that everything that is in the world, the physical world, is here in the digital Earth. And they're saying, the reason why we're doing it is because we want to predict climate change from this scale. So we don't have to be all over the world. We can see, because the whole world will be right there, just exact duplicate, and we can tell, how. So they want to make that as a new model. But guess what? The thing is, they know exactly who you and I are, because they know our words and yearnings. They know our ways, our words and yearnings. That means all the stuff that you ever used, the sites that you visit, the things that you purchase, how often you do this, how often you do that, all of that is recorded by the browser. So all of this data harvesting. So they have a duplicate of you already, because you're nothing but your words and yearnings. That's all you are. And so they have a digital copy of you. And so what they want to do, because they use your data harvesting to sell to certain companies, because they know exactly what you like, and so they know how to send people and to create a craving and a lust and desire for things. This is all the new. You understand? Data harvesting is the new thing, is the new app, is the new gold standard. It used to be the gold standard, the petro standard, but now it's going to be data harvesting, which is the alphabet that they have collected from you. All the words and yearnings that you have expressed in your browse history and everything that you do, as long as you use your internet, your phone, everything, all of that is recorded. So they want to populate this digital world that they're making, the duplicate twin world, to put you in it, because you also already exist in it. There's a duplicate and a twin of you, as data harvesting that knows exactly. And that's why they know how to manipulate you. And that's how they can guarantee and they can prophesy that you're going to go for this product and all that, because they know your habits. All right? So that's why I'm coming with this whole thing, because I represent the ALEFBET. Because the ALEFBET, the alphabet, has been our dwelling place in all generations. No matter if you believe in God or not, you are always going to use the alphabet to perform your job, to perform your duties, and to read anything, to understand a script. So the ALEFBET is the one that we have to go first before we go to anything else. So I'm here to challenge these people. I'm going to use a zero campaign to show proof. Let them show the promise that they're going to give you something. But I'm going to show the proof that you have it in yourself, and you're going to see me every day expressing this how you can see my progress, how is it going, and those that accompany me, I will explain. You don't have to rush and do it just the way I'm doing it. You know, read Martha Christie's Your Own Perfect Medicine for. Convince yourself. Don't just jump in it as something, that you think I'm doing. No, just convince yourself. Read it on your own. See all the testimony of all the people. See how the pharmaceutical company has used it. And when you're well convinced enough, then you can try it, okay? But in the meantime, you can be watching me having a good time with this, and explaining to you how it is. So I'm challenging the AlefBet because the AlefBet wants to take the credit that the AlefBet does. Okay, the AlefBet is the only standard from the very beginning. So that's what I'm using here. So make your own physicality magnificent again, okay? And so the way I do things, my friend, is always contrary to the world, okay? The world has a way of doing things, that become the norm for everybody. But there's one of my names that my mother used to call me is Carrie, okay? Because from Zacarias, you will call me Carrie or Carrie, as an endearing word for her. She was Cari or Caricito. Because you call me Cari or Caricito, that's how I came up with Tito. Because I was so young and they would ask me, what's your name? And say, Tito. So I gave myself the name Tito. But my mom would call me Cari or Caricito. And so with Carrie, that's a word in the Hebrew Bible that appears 7 times in the book of Vayikra, which is the book that I woke up, which is when I woke up on this Saturday, March 20th, I felt that I need to do this. This is my next step, because I was thinking, the people see me talk with confidence that I don't need, but they have not subjected their body to it, or they haven't even seen me doing it. They just see me talking. So I want to put myself, and they'll see me doing it, on a day-to-day basis, and they can also experience it and see it happen in their own bodies. So then, therefore, if you're on the Jopem for 30 days or more, man, you get such confidence to tell the world, go F yourself. Exactly. This is the kind of confidence you get. You cannot tell me anything, man. All I need is my body, and you guys can all go to hell. That's exactly the kind of confidence you get. Because you understand, man, I can survive anywhere in the world. If I'm lost in a cave, I can live there for a long time if they don't find me. I'm not just going to croak and die right away. So you get this kind of boost of confidence that I cannot impart to you by just telling you how good I feel. I'm exposing myself so you can see what happens to me during this whole time. And you also, if you get into it, you will get to have that confidence. So that way I don't have to tell you, you yourself will know how to deal with the world and all the leaders, all the pathetic leaders of the mule garden. You'll see why I have the confidence that I have. You're not only be hearing, you'll see that you had it yourself all along. So I'm bringing you proof of what I know that I've done, and I know that it helped me. And Martha Christie is proving in the book, and I'm sharing that with you right now. And so the word carry, like I say, and so that day of March 20th, the reason is because that's the day in the Hebrew when they start reading from the book of Leviticus chapter 1 verse 1. And God called Moses, because Vayikra means the calling. God calls you. And so it's on the 7th day of Nisan, because Nisan is the first month, in the Hebrew calendar. And it's on the 7th day, which coincides with March 20th. That's this Saturday. And so God called Moses. So God is calling me. I feel, okay, this is to become my campaign. It's so coincidence that, and I'm going to do on an 80 day. That's what I was thinking. But I'm going to go for 140. That's the number for 14 is the number of David anyhow. Because I have plenty to go, I can just do it. So in any case, but in the book of Leviticus, that's where the word carry appears. That's the only book in the Bible where the word carry appears 7 times. 7 times is the number of God. And the word carry means contrary. Somebody that goes against. So it's used in a bad connotation in the sense that God doesn't like people that go contrary to his mindset, But if you go contrary to the world to be with him, he loves you, But that's the whole thing. I've been all along my life, I always do not do what the world tells me to do, to follow the food pyramids or to get their healthcare system, all of that. I said, the hell with that. I go contrary to that. And I try a different method that works even better for me. So that's been my life all along. I have not followed the status quo, the modus operandi that everybody else follows. I've tried to figure out a way that is more comfortable for everybody and that can be done without all the stuff that they try to portray that is needed. That's has been my operation. So now, I am who I'm called Carrie among David and all these other names that were given. I am the contrary, to the way of the world. I'm going to show you the zero campaign, that how you have it in yourself to be able to have, to make your own physicality magnificent again. So everything will be, like a brand new baby again. You will be restored to youthfulness. You will it gets rid of everything, acne, you name it. It just does wonders for you. So this is just the beginning of it. So let me just show you a little bit of what happened yesterday. I'm gonna finish with this. This is from yesterday. I'm gonna put a little bit of what happened because it was my last meal before I started this. So we all went, was Andy and Rosa, there's Brian there, my son Shami, and Maria, my ex-wife. She always showed up with my son Shami. So they were all there, and we went to this place, Casa de Pancho. Now to me that's, interesting. The first time I went there, because something that Maria had mentioned she wanted to take, I could talk to her. I was talking to her because my son is graduating, and she was talking about she's thinking of ordering some taco, people to come and serve tacos, and she was telling me how much it would cost if I could help her with that. I said, okay, I'll help you with that. And so then when she was telling me about this restaurant called Casa de Pancho, where she wanted to take my son, he asked me if I've ever been there. I said, no. And I looked that up and I said, well, it looks pretty good. Well, I tell you what, I told her, tomorrow it's my last day because on Monday I'm starting this thing for 80 days. That was the beginning plan. So we went to Casa de Pancho and it was pretty good. But the interesting thing is, Pancho comes from the word Francisco. All the Franciscos in the world, or Panchita means Francisca. Or Panchita is for the people named Franciscos or Francisca. And the thing is, because of an aunt of my dad's named Francisca and an uncle named Francisco. So there were the Francisco and Francisca that I got the name of David Emmanuel. Isn't that a lot of interesting? So I got the name. I was born in December 25. My dad was going to name me Zechariah because my grandfather, he didn't have anybody named after him. So he says, I'm going to name it so, I'll be in good favor with him. So he was going to name me that. But then the aunt that was very close to the family, she said, do not forget to name him David Emmanuel because he has relatives all the way, back in Yemen. That's a lot of Jewish people used to come from that. So he was saying, he comes from the old days over there. So because of her, because of the Pancha and Pancho, the Francisco and Francisca, that I was named David. So interesting that I start this whole thing and I have my last meal in the Casa de Pancho, the house of the Francisco and Francisca. Very interesting. I find it very interesting. So what I'm saying, on the book of the Nisan, the 7th day of Nisan, when the Leviticus, God called Moses, so God is calling me at this hour to do this because I'm very convinced that this is what is needed. The whole world, the way I'm presenting this campaign is way better than all the other politicians give you promises. I'm going to present you proofs. I'm going to give you admissions of fact that you will not be able to deny because you know that it's working and you're going to be able to see it before your very eyes. So let me just put you the cinema here, the last thing of how I did that last night and how I started this morning with this process. Let me show you. We are trying this out. Plenty of food so far. This is the 3-item combo here. This is my other video camera now. Stand up. Look at that. Aero view.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. You can get an idea. Alright. Then you food to go and to eat here too.
I'm not hungry. Not that hungry.
Alright, not bad.
Can you see I'm on my diet?
Yeah. Good thing Andy's not hungry. I mean, imagine if he was. Alright. Monday, March 22nd. check on the weight right now. Let's see. I woke up right now. It's 5 something. This is the first bottle that begins. Okay, so this you have to be drinking everything every day up to the last drop, and just keep recirculating it all the time. This is the beginning of it. Let's see how the weight is. To be honest for the day, so especially to 8.2. Okay, that's what it is. To 8.2. All right, so there you have it. Okay, so make sure that we are okay. So that's it, my friends. It's today. It's day 1. So you're gonna be seeing this for a long time. Days are gonna be changing. Tomorrow is gonna be day 2, and I want to try to stick true to it because I don't have to prepare or order Grubhub anymore. I'm gonna be saving a lot of money. I don't have to be ordering food for a long time, until the Yopim, your own perfect medicine gets me where I need to be. And, so I can make your own physicality magnificent again. Make your own. So we're going to be in this campaign. You're going to see it before your eyes. You're going to see this miracle happen, You're going to see getting back into my old suits that I had a long time ago. I still have it in there in the closet. I'm going to get back to that. It's going to be a very good year. So I ballooned up, but I'm 1 year now because I was from the first message. So I'm gonna shed the baby fat. It's only 1 year old as the COVID-19-MAN, right? The introduction was done a year ago, exactly on this date. And by the way, today was also Brianna Duran. Brianna Duran's birthday. Interesting that I found out she became 30 years old today. I already wish her happy birthday and everything. But she's one of the ones that participates here a lot. So that was her birthday as well. So you can wish her that on Wednesday. But in any case, that was wonderful and interesting, that she was born in the day that I gave my first sermon, last year for the introduction of the COVID-19-MAN. So it's been a year. I'm going to get rid of the baby fat. It's only a year old. And by getting rid of the baby fat, I'm going to squash all the confessions of faith that are from politicians, from the monetary systems and everything. We're going to see them squashed before your face, and you're going to gain the confidence to tell everybody you go to hell with your confession of faith. I'm giving you my admission of fact, and I stand by it, and I want you change my mind if you can. They won't be able to. That's the confidence I want to impart to you. All right, so let me just close with this part here. All right, let's see here. Let me see how we're doing here. I can see you guys here. So we had some people showed up. Perfect. Good to have you here, you guys. All right. Emily. Oh, Emily. I'm glad you came. All right, Emily showed up. All right, we have a lot of people here. Yeah, I'm glad you show up, Emily. So just read that book, Martha M. Christie. She has so many pains, fibromyalgia. She had all kinds of stuff, and all of that, she got rid of it just with the Yopim. So this is going to be good for a lot of people, to help a lot of people to experience in the now the health that the DNA can provide for them. If they just trust, then you're going to be true to when you say, I trust in myself, because you're trusting what's in yourself. And then you can really say that, because you say, I trust in myself, and you haven't gotten healed yet. I mean, you're only, a confession of faith. That's not an admission of fact. But I'm showing you how to live with the admission of fact. So God bless each and every one of you. And let me close it here.